looking at natural phenomena that have affected the weather. The most prominent is volcanic activity. Whenever a giant volcano erupts, the tremendous amount of soot and ash that goes into the atmosphere causes a cooling effect. All this blocks out sunlight, and you can actually measure. You can actually measure this effect, and that's how we know so much about soot and ash in the air, by looking at previous volcanic eruptions like Mount St. Helens and calculating exactly how much the temperature has fallen. Now, forest fires is less of a problem, that is less of a perturbation on the atmosphere. When you take a look at the temperature of the Earth, and you take a look at forest fires, and you take a look at volcanic activity is by far the largest source of change in the atmosphere. So you're absolutely right. In the past, Mother Nature has had tremendous changes. Now, however, that's not the question for today. Today, we don't see gigantic volcanic eruptions, but we have an increase in temperature. These volcanic eruptions cause a decrease in the temperature, not an increase, but what we're seeing today is an increase in the average temperature of the Earth. In fact, 2015 will go down as the hottest year ever recorded in the history of science. And the last decade has already gone down as the hottest decade ever recorded in the history of science. So to answer your questions, yes, in the past, Mother Nature has changed the weather dramatically. In fact, during the dinosaur era, much of the polar ice caps was melted because the Earth was quite hot back then, and the shape of the continents was actually much different because sea levels were much higher because the polar ice caps had largely melted during the time of the dinosaurs. But we're talking about today. And today we see not a decrease in the temperature, we see an increase in the temperature, and we don't see gigantic anomalies like volcanic activities. However, we do see the fact that humans are putting tremendous amounts of carbon dioxide, much more than is released by Mount St. Helens, much more than is released by volcanic activity, and that's the cause of concern today.